Hi, this is Lada from astrolada.com with your November 2018 horoscopes. And this month is something else. I mean, there's so many amazing shifts that are starting to happen from November. The energy is changing and we're all going to feel it collectively. Jupiter is moving from Scorpio into Sagittarius, and usually the influence of a planet moving from one sign into another is most powerful at the beginning and also at the end when it's leaving. So Jupiter will make some gift to all of us in regards to Scorpio, where we've worked hard over the last 1 year. But this time, when Jupiter enters into Sagittarius, things will start happening much easier because Sagittarius is the sign of Jupiter. Things will start flowing naturally, more positively. While Jupiter was in Scorpio, it still gave us, but through some crisis first, through some, because it's the nature of Scorpio, some crisis, or first the death of something old, so Jupiter can give birth to something new, because Scorpio is this sign about death and rebirth. So it was, yes, it gave us some expansion as well and some growth, but through more extreme ways, circumstances, through crisis of some sort. While Jupiter going to Sagittarius, wow, I mean, it's in its own sign, expansion threefold. And you're going to start feeling it from November, all of us. So we're going to speak about Jupiter, how it's going to affect you for the next 1 year in different, according to your sign. We're going to speak about the nodes, the karmic nodes where fate is changing. They're changing signs as well. I'm going to say a few quick words about what it means for you for the next year and a half, what fated events are going to be happening in your life. There is also triple manifestation this month, and I'm going to speak about it. This is according to ancient Gemini astrology. There will be a trigger of 4 houses for every person that can manifest very powerfully. So this month is really happening. It can be extremely positive. There's some difficult influences as well we'll talk about. But just to let you know that I'm doing a webinar with April on Jupiter in Sagittarius on the 9th of November. It's only $29 if you come early. And if you sign it now, or $39 if you want us to look at your chart and send you an email with what Jupiter will specifically affect you, so you know which part of the webinar is most relevant for you. And also, it's going to be very in-depth, we're going to follow everything, and also early bird announcement for the 2019 horoscopes. Each one will be about an hour and a half long, in-depth, with days of birth, with month-by-month prediction, with everything. Will be I've been working on those, and I'll be working for a couple of months. And they're coming out in the middle of November. And if you order from now till the middle of November, one sign is $3.99, or all 12 signs for about $15.99. So amazing things, exciting things ahead. And let's start with the predictions. So Virgo, let's see how the main events are aligning for you in November. And the most important event is that Jupiter is changing signs. It's moving from your 3rd house into your 4th house, and usually it tends to make a present to us when it leaves one sign. And in your case, it can make you a present in regards to some trip materializing, 3rd house, in regards to some important business contact happening, or with clients, 3rd house, in regards to some important business, commercial, marketing, advertising project, or writing, speaking, communicating project that gives results or manifests. Some important news coming to you that is good news, that brings you a necessary piece of information about some skills that you can use as well, that are the perfection of some skills that give you again, that help you in some way to progress with your life. Also some positive developments in the life with brothers, siblings, teammates, workmates, if you're working on a project together with a small group of people, and anything to do also with I think we mentioned everything: writing, speaking, social media of any sorts, anything to do with communication devices that Jupiter can give you some kind of a present. And 3rd house is also equipment of any sort. If you need, again, Jupiter can give some good results there. But it's moving into a 4th house from the 9th of November, which means that for the next 1 year, expect positive manifestations in a very powerful way, because Jupiter is in its own sign where it manifests the best, like blessings from above are coming in regards to your personal life. So you'll be blessed possibly to find the right home, to bless you'll be blessed if you want to settle, to find a place that feels, yes, this is where I belong. You will be blessed to receive help and support from parents and family. You will be blessed in some way, even if you want to start your own family. The start of parenthood sometimes starts with Jupiter transiting the fifth house, the fourth house. It's if you're trying to look to find a better place to move, or you can expand, because Jupiter expands whatever it touches. So you can have more than one property, for example. Over the next 1 year, you can buy another property, or you can make a bigger house. It can also be very good for relocating to a foreign country, because Jupiter in Sagittarius rules foreign places. So to invest in property or vehicles in foreign places, or in assets in some way in foreign places. But expect that you will find your place under the world. You'd feel more happiness as well. The fourth house is emotional happiness. You'd feel more supported on the emotional, psychological level by close people. You'd feel more grounded, and any kind of relocations that happen, they would be for the best, and they would ensure growth, and they would ensure more joy and happiness in your life. There are a few Virgos that have to be careful. They're a small group of Virgos only, Virgo Sun, Moon, or Rising. I have to give you the degrees. I'll do this in the 12 signs yearly videos, which are just $3.99 each till the 15th of November. And if you want to check this out, you can early bird, you can register for it now, and you'll receive the videos in mid-November, which is with way more in-depth information. Okay, and at the same time, the nodes are changing signs in November. Well, they're moving from, Rahu is moving into your 11th house, while Ketu is moving into your 5th house. What does it mean? You're going to become much more ambitious. Rahu in the 11th house raises our ambition for gains. That can exponentially increase your gains, like, for example, increase in salary, increase in bonus. If you have your own business, increase in the earned wages of the business, increase of the earnings of the business. And Rahu doesn't give small. Rahu can give very sudden and big rise. So interestingly, it's this is considered one of the positions that, and I've seen it in action, that there is a noticeable increase in ambition, and one achieves their goals and ambitions by making very opportunistic connections. Like, you'll be meeting people that are quite materially more successful, some sort, or who have the right connections, the right information, and they connect you with the right person. So this is very like social climbing combination that you can get to achieve some long dreamed of goal, and very fast at that, like a sudden jump, through making the right connections. So it's very advisable for you to network a lot, to mingle with others, to become members of groups and organizations. That when I had Rahu in the 11th house, this is when I built up all my following on YouTube. It grew the most during that, because Rahu is our 11th house is our audience and your outreach to large groups of people. And if you have a message, or if you need to grow something to reach lots of people, this is when it happens. And it happened so fast. I was like, Rahu just moves very fast. I mean, in energy. But you have to be careful, because Rahu also indicates pretenders and posers, and this can happen through friendships and relationships. We'll speak that more in the yearly videos. I'm going to talk about the dark side of Rahu in the 11th house, how to protect yourself from it. But overall, it's gainful materially. While at the same time, Ketu is going to be in your 5th house. You might lose some of your creativity. You might become disinterested towards some creative ideas of yours, because you're focused on socioeconomic gains, on making the right connections, on extending your influence socially, on networking. And that can also, your love life can suffer a little bit. There can be even a bit some kind of a disinterest towards your love life. Or your lover, because of other circumstances, might become somehow more detached, or more might be there but not really there, or you might be attracting partners romantically if you're single who are kind of more spacey, but Saturn is also in your 5th house, so they can be like some kind of a cooler detachment around them, or they can be more karmic, and they can be the end of some romantic relationship that is no longer functional in your life, and it can happen in a very clear-cut way because Saturn is there, Pluto and the South Node. But at the same time, you are releasing certain expectations of what you want your love life and romance to be like, and you're focusing on you becoming gainful. But it's not a bad thing, because if you have certain set ideas how your love life should be, how romantic partners should be, and things haven't worked till now, maybe it's time to release some of those ones. And that's what Ketu does. It excretes those old ones. You actually become disinterested almost towards like, I'm done with dating, for example. And you're like, and you let it go, and then it can magically happen because you're no longer trying to control the situation to make it happen the way you want. So it has its more positive side as well. For others, Ketu in the 5th house can indicate letting go of children, letting go of an obsession to have a child, or becoming less interested, or maybe their children growing up and having to leave, so they have to release, because Ketu is release, let go of a child. On a positive level, it can bring very spiritual, intimate relationships and romantic relationships. But I'll speak of the positive side of Ketu in the yearly horoscopes. What else is happening is that there's triple activation of this 11th house already in November. So you can start manifesting in regards to this 11th house already from the 9th, 10th of November till the end of November, both Jupiter and, sorry, not in the 11th house, in your 4th house, triple activation. But this triple activation is happening on the axis here. So it's happening in Sagittarius, where Jupiter and Mercury are, and they're triple activating the sign Sagittarius. And according to Gemini astrology, the ruler of a sign, when it's in the same sign or aspects it, and in Gemini astrology, all the mutable signs aspect each other. And if Jupiter and Mercury also are in those signs, there is like triple positive activation of the mutable signs. So it means that all those 4 houses, the most important pivotal points in the horoscope, are going to be active in November for Virgos. So your horoscope is lighting up like a Christmas tree according to the ancient astrological techniques. And you can manifest the last 20 days of November in regards to personal life, in regards to buying property, in regards to family positively, in regards to something to do with selling, buying, receiving support from family, land. You can also powerful activation in regards to your career. This is triple activated. Your social status can increase. You can make more, take some leadership responsibility, or some new career project, or some career project that really establishes you in your status as a capable leader, as a capable organizer. And you can also receive some support from authority figures, from people in power in some way, or institutions. Also, positive manifestation in regards to your relationships, triple activation here. That means that some business partnership can happen, some relationship that helps you in some way, some contract can be signed that is positive, some agreement, some deal with clients. You can find new clients of some sort as well. And it can also indicate like some important, if you're looking for a lawyer, you can find the right lawyer. Or if you are looking for a partner, this is a period when you can meet someone important, the last 20 days of November, with a personal or business partner. Both can happen. So this November, your relationships can very much develop in a positive way. Also, your own sign is triple activated. Again, this is very different astrology than the Western. The rules are very different, but it works. Wow. I'm so glad they're starting to translate those ancient texts to see very different kind of astrology, because sometimes we Western astrologers look at transits and we're like, it's not shown in the transits, but there is other activations. It's like, why is this happening? But this explains it. So there can be powerful activation about you as well, which means you can start something new now. You can get lit up like a Christmas tree with excitement for new beginnings. You can get excited about um, being in the spotlight, of being recognized, or you can be noticed in some way. So your relationships, your social status, your personal life can give positive manifestations. Yes, Mercury will be retrograde from the middle of the month, and it's the planet that rules you, which means that you have to be, there can be some miscommunications. Mercury is squaring Neptune in your seventh house with people. There might be someone over promising or misleading, or you might see things in a bit more different light than they truly are. But eventually, because of the triple manifesting power, those little annoyances and complications with information and some delays even on agreements and contracts and miscommunications, they conspire up to give good results eventually. You go through them, and yes, it might not be the easiest month, but the final result, because Gemini doesn't show how you feel. Gemini astrology that I'm talking about, this triple activation, is not how you feel, it's about what you manifest as a final result. Because it can be your worst year feeling wise, and you can be the most manifesting year for you as well, But anyway, so this is what I see for you, Virgos. I hope you join me on Jupiter and Sagittarius webinar that I'm doing with April. Early birds, $29. Or on my yearly horoscopes, they'll be much more in depth. I'll be giving dates and periods, and it will be like an hour and a half for just $3.99 for each sign. Thank you.